talking about.
Just a quick audio check, make sure everything's going out. Let me know if you guys can hear me. All right, good. Looks like audio's good. I'll be starting in just a minute.
activity serves no purpose whatsoever.
All right, good morning, everybody. We're gonna get cracking with this thing here in just a second, but I first want to say thanks to everybody for being here for the early starters here. I know it's an unusual time for one of my streams. Usually they're in the evening time for me, but this one is at 9:20 in the morning. So yeah, I appreciate the presence here this morning. I wanted to make sure I had a lot of time to get this quest done because I haven't even like remotely started. I got to knock out some dailies and other things here today as well. Just trying to set myself up so that I have lots of time to work on world quests, side quests, all that good stuff this week. But in order to do that, I got to get all of these other quests that I hadn't quite finished up knocked out. All right, so Baizhu's quest today. Let's get at this thing, shall we? All right, what party do I want to use today? I don't know. Maybe I'll use my party that actually has Baizhu in it. He's not fully developed yet, but and I haven't decided what I'm doing with Candace yet. But yeah, I mean, she's in the group. I'll use this party for now for fun. All right. Oh, I also need to make some condensed resin just to get my like overload of resin knocked out. I need to check something really quick because that will also be a good thing to do really quick. I need to maybe knock out one of my bosses here. I haven't done any of my weekly bosses yet either. And if I go ahead and knock out one of the weekly bosses, well, that'll knock my resin down long enough for me to knock out the quest, and then I can do some of that stuff afterwards. As with always, if I have any audio issues or anything, too loud, too quiet, game too loud or too quiet, also let me know in the chat, and I will do my best to make adjustments to that at the earliest opportunity. But yeah, I'm gonna fill up my energy really quick so I can just go and knock out my my weekly Scaramouche boss, and then I'll get cracking with this Baizhu quest. All right.
We'll see about that.
Oh, I missed. Cool. Trying to get everybody's energy recharged here real quick.
The wind rises.
All right, you guys can get out of here with that. And nobody got to touch it. All right, cool. Works for me. I'll heal up really quick. And then we'll go knock out that boss real fast. Alright. Boss time. So hopefully everybody's having a great morning, wherever it is that they are. If you were here for the stream yesterday, you may remember that it was kind of extremely hot for me in here because my AC is broken. It is only 70 degrees. It's actually, yeah, only right at 70 degrees this morning because there were some storms last night. So it's not nearly so bad in here this morning. Part of the reason why I wanted to do these streams in the morning. But I also have some nice cross ventilation going in the house this morning. Opened up some windows, put a couple of fans in some strategic locations in hopes that it would make things a little less unpleasant. And it appears to be working right now.
That divinity is mine.
So I will take that for sure.
I'm going in. Have fun with this gift.
Bow your head. Squall and Fury. Feeble human.
All right. Stage 1 knocked out real quick. I don't know about you guys, but I pretty much always take Scaramouche, or the Wanderer, to basically kill himself.
God.
I feel like consistently that he is the best character for fighting his own past self. It seems to work well. Really, probably the only thing I would change about this team is just maybe having a shield introduced for certain portions of it, which I don't have.
Kneel.
Whew, that was a little close.
That's far enough.
Okay, well, still managed to catch me with that, didn't he? Let me go ahead and hit some food really quick, because I don't want to get myself in a little too deep with that one. That missed. All right. Gonna wait for that to clear. Oh, got two. Nice. Oh man, I gotta tell you guys, every time I fight, I get like, does anybody else just get like borderline weekly, like excited to fight this boss just so you can hear his theme again? Easily one of the coolest themes that they've made for this game.
Too slow.
Swap off of him really quick. Go snatch these up so I can pop him again.
Good riddance, cruel world.
Ow.
Behold.
You definitely want to stay out of the range of that stuff when you can on this boss. God. These things chew you up really fast. All right. Good night, dude.
Possible.
Well,
Everybody
he's
stand.
pretty much done.
The wind rises. Know your place.
Later, man.
I was destined for more.
All right. Well, that'll give me some resin back to, you know, not have to worry about it during the quest. Nice. All right, I'm getting some good holdings on some of this stuff, which will be nice for any future characters that end up using his materials. Honestly, there's some older bosses that I could probably stand to go and run again. It's been a little while, and I'm getting a little low on some of their specific items. Oh, come on with this. Get out of here, alligator. All right. Okay. So I can switch my team back to the other one and go get started with this quest. Yes. Which is over here. Intuitively, looks to be starting at Boo Boo Pharmacy. Almost said Boo Boo Pharmacy. That would be appropriate for this morning. I fixed it before it happened. All right. Oh, Chi-Chi. Not surprised that she would have some presence in a quest built around Baizhu.
What's your name, buddy? Are you here to buy some medicine? Where are your mom and dad?
Are you lost?
No, I'm not. My name's Ayu, and I'm here because...
Hey there, Chi-Chi. Hi, Gray. What's going on? Hi, Traveler and Paimon.
I had a weird audio skip there.
You've actually come at the perfect time. This little boy seems to have gotten himself lost. I think he must be new to the city. Probably wandered away from his parents and...
No, listen to me. I'm not the one who's lost. It's my dad.
Uh-oh.
Your dad? How does a fully grown man manage to get lost in Liyue Harbor?
Well, my dad's always been kind of forgetful. In the past, he was just a little slow to react sometimes. But I'm worried that it's getting more serious.
So, what about your mom?
She went out a few days ago to gather some herbs for my dad, but she still hasn't come back. Meanwhile, my dad's been getting worse and worse. I remembered that the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy always runs a clinic in Chingsa Village during the Lantern Rite, so I thought, why don't I take Dad to Liyue Harbor to see him there?
The owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. You must mean Baizhu.
When we got to the city gate, I took a moment to ask the Millelith guards for directions to the pharmacy. And then, when I turned back around, my dad was gone. I asked the Millelith guys to go find him, but he said they won't be able to send that many people. So then I figured, maybe I can ask some other people in the city to help.
You came to the right place. We're pros at finding people. Isn't that right, Traveler?
It'll be a piece of cake for us.
Junction can help. She has a good sense of smell, like a dog.
Chi-Chi.
Hey, who's talking about me behind my back?
Cheng-Sheng, Chi-Chi meant that as a compliment. There's no need to be upset. Hello, child. You mentioned that you were looking for the owner of Boo Boo Pharmacy. How might we be of service?
You have a talking snake? Oh,
Yes.
are you Uncle
Talking danger
Baizhu?
noodle.
Uncle Baizhu?
Cheng-Sheng, now's not the time. My dear boy, could you tell me more about your father's condition, as much as you can recall?
Yes, Dr. Baizhu.
Baizhu explains his father's health situation to Baizhu.
I see. And your family lives near Qingse village, you say? I visit patients there frequently, but I don't recall ever seeing you or your parents.
Uh-huh. My mom doesn't like meeting other people, especially during Lantern Rite. She always tells me to just stay at home and keep my dad company.
Is that so? Ayu, by any chance, is your mother's name Jiangli?
Whoa, yeah, it is. Do you know my mom, Dr. Baizhu?
I certainly do. Gui, Chi-Chi, are there any pressing matters in the pharmacy at the moment? Ayu's parents are old acquaintances of mine, so I would very much like to assist with the search. Would the two of you have time to join me?
Don't forget us two. We already told Ayu that we'd help.
Oh, really? Well, that's wonderful. We are most grateful for your support.
You can count on us.
Chi-Chi and I need to clear up the shop front first, but once that's taken care of, we'll be right out to help you with the search.
Family is very important.
Thank you. Then I'll leave you to handle the pharmacy. Traveler, Paimon, why don't you come with me and Ayu? Let's start by talking to the Millelith guards at the city gates, see if they have an update.
Alright, yeah, let's do that then. The Heart of Healing. Alright. Okay, wait. Check Chi-Chi dialogue first.
His family. We have to find them.
Alright. Well, let's go to the entrance. Oh man, gravity feels weird to me. The last thing I was playing was the Water Temple in Tears of the Kingdom, and gravity is very light there, and so you would jump and you kind of fly forever, and and now that I'm back to normal weight, it feels awkward. Tangy. Yeah, I am definitely going to be pulling for Kirara. Absolutely. That will be the day she comes out, for sure.
They searched to the north,
Expect
but
to
couldn't
stream
find
on
anyone
that.
who matched the description.
Well, that complicates things. The city folks say there's no sign of him either. We need to start looking further afield. But where are we gonna get the people?
I have no idea, softer voiced D-Luke.
Excuse me, sirs. Have you found out anything about my dad yet?
Ah, hey there, buddy. Dr. Baizhu. What brings you out this way?
The boy asked for our help, so we're here to join the search. Any new developments to update us on?
Oh, thank goodness. We were just discussing how we're running out of manpower. As for updates, I'm sorry to say that we've searched the surrounding area thoroughly, but didn't find anything.
The guards at the crossing up ahead said they hadn't seen anyone either, so we don't believe he was heading towards the Guili Plains. But it is possible that he was bound for Luhua Pool.
Luhua Pool? The terrain there can be tricky to navigate. Let's hope he hasn't run into any trouble.
We'll take that area.
You will? Ah, great. We can't thank you enough.
Sorry we weren't able to find your dad, buddy.
That's okay. Thank you for trying.
Alright. So, Luhua Pool. Just to the north a bit. We'll come at it from the high side. Why does it have to be the dads? I mean, Genshin has kind of a thing for that, doesn't it? Like, it's almost always like, you know, like people's fathers are always getting into trouble or are dead. There's a lot of that going on in Genshin Impact. It's like a theme. It's like if you have kids in the Genshin Impact universe, you're just gonna die. That's why, like, if we meet any like characters in the game who are you know destined to be, who are parents or are, you know, almost parents or something, like, yeah, they're gonna die. They're just gonna die. It's probably why they're waiting so long to, like, you know, give us Alice. They're like, ah, she's not gonna be a playable character. No, we're gonna introduce her to kill her probably. Like, God, please don't do that. Knock on wood.
No, it's... Hey, you! Stop! Don't go any further!
Watch where you're going!
Oh, Hutao.
Oh, dear customer, Wangsheng Funeral Parlor does appreciate your patronage, but you needn't hasten the inevitable. Are you all right?
You know, that moment where you're kind of surprised she wasn't just standing at the bottom holding a, you know, 2-for-1 sale sign. Good job, Hutao.
Huh?
Dad!
Hey, Hutao!
My, who do we have here? It's the Traveler in Paimon, and...
Dr. Baizhu. You're from
my
the same...
worst
Oh,
nightmare.
I see.
I see she still hasn't warmed to you.
He prevents people from becoming her customers.
Thank you, Director Who, for saving this man.
Dad, are you okay? Do you recognize me? It's me, Ayu.
Are you? Who am I?
Your name is Xiao Liang, and you live just west of Qingse Village. You were supposed to come to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. Remember? Does that jog your memory?
Oh, my name is Jia Liang. Liyue Harbor. See the doctor? Yes, I'm Jia Liang, and I need to see the doctor. Wait, why do I need to see the doctor?
Uh-oh.
Well, you did just try to
He
kill
seems in
yourself.
really bad shape. We need to get him back to Boo Boo Pharmacy right away. Sorry, Hutao. Gotta dash. Dinner's on us next time.
Hold on a second. You're not seriously thinking of taking him to Boo Boo Pharmacy in this state, are you?
Huh? Why not? What's the problem?
Come on, Baizhu. Don't tell me you haven't noticed it. Didn't your master teach you how to spot the signs? Why do I get the sense that you spotted them right away, but you're planning to use it for your own ends?
Use what? What are you talking about? Paimon's lost.
There are traces of god remains in Jia Liang's system.
What? God remains?
Oh, yes, but more importantly, they're on the verge of an outburst. If that happens, the consequences will be unthinkable.
Paimon, sorry. What?
God remains?
There's no need to worry, Director Who. I have methods of keeping them at bay.
Like, the only incident, like, or instance of a character having god remains that I can think of is in the manga, where Kale is exposed to and suffering from the effects of having been infused with, there's a specific word for it and I can't think of it at the moment, but god's remains. And it gave her unusual powers that they ended up having to seal. Sino and Amber and several others helped to seal them away. But yeah, I imagine it's actually a problem that you know, Kale may still have to face in the future. But this is, we'll see where they're going with this.
It is the sworn duty of all who practice medicine to cure illnesses and save lives. What reason would I have to neglect a patient in need who is right there in front of me? Besides, it was my late master's dying wish to be able to save this patient in particular. Perhaps out of respect for him, you could give me a day's grace so that I have time to treat him?
Now you're bringing my great uncle into this? Baizhu, just what are you planning this time?
Merely to cure this man, nothing more. But of course, if you have any doubt as to my intentions, you are more than welcome to accompany me to Boo Boo Pharmacy and monitor my activities.
Oh, really? I thought I was persona non grata at Boo Boo Pharmacy. You're being unusually generous today.
We won't let things get out of hand.
Okay, deal. We're not gonna solve anything by keeping Jialiang here. I'm happy to do it your way, but only for my great uncle's sake and the travelers, of course.
You must be pleased you brought the traveler along. Otherwise, this would have been a much more vexing ordeal.
It was fortunate for them.
Well, time is of the essence. Let's get ourselves back to Boo Boo Pharmacy at once.
So yeah, given that this could be an Archon residue kind of situation,
Blockages within
there
the
are some
cardiovascular system.
interesting
Reduced
implications
blood
here.
flow and energy circulation? I see. I suppose this must have caused the cognitive abnormalities.
Dr. Baizhu, how bad is it? Can you cure him?
Don't you worry. Baizhu's a really great doctor. He's sure to find a way. Isn't that right, Baizhu?
Ayu, do you know when your father first started displaying these symptoms?
I'm not sure. He's been like this for as long as I can remember. But it wasn't as bad as this when I was still little.
So it's been a long time indeed.
Is it a grim prognosis?
No. I have a treatment plan in mind. We can start tonight. Come and see me again tomorrow morning. I promise that by then, Ayu will find his father healthy and lucid again.
Thank you, Dr. Baizhu. Thank you so much.
If you still have any misgivings, Director Who, please feel free to hang around for as long as you wish.
However, it would be best if you step outside this room. A doctor must be able to focus when treating a patient. Any distractions heighten the risk of complications.
Yes, of course, absolutely. I'll just go and look at the flowers or something. But I will be back in an instant at the first sign that something's amiss.
We'll be heading out now too. Is it just me or is Hu Tao very suspicious of Baizhu?
See you tomorrow, Baizhu and Chung.
Even now, like, her response to that seemed like she just doesn't trust something.
Bye for now, everyone.
Are you ready, Baizhu?
Ready as I'll ever be. I'm used to it by now. Come on, let's get started.
All's well that ends well, huh?
Yeah, about that. This quest just started, Paimon.
You know, Paimon's kind of curious after hearing Baizhu mention those people from his past. What do you think they were like?
You mean Baiju's master?
Yeah, you must be curious too, right? Let's go see what we can find out while Baiju's busy treating Ayu's dad.
Well, where are we gonna do that? Ask around for information. Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna start with Hu Tao then. Oh man, I think I'm gonna like crash and drown during this cutscene.
Time on admiring the scenery, the spectacled snake-bedecked docs doing surgery.
The spectacled snake-bedecked docs doing surgery.
Hello, you
Okay.
busy bees, and what do you have to discuss with the funeral director today?
So
Actually, don't tell me. Let me guess. From the looks on your faces, you've got some questions for me.
Guilty as charged. So, we were just a little curious about Baiju's master. What was he like? Oh, and also, how come you and Baizhu could tell so quickly that Jialiang had god remains in his system?
an interesting observation, yeah.
Huh? I thought I told you once before. Wangsheng Funeral Parlor was first founded to fight back against the vengeful wrath of gods defeated in war.
Okay, right, the miasma.
Well, it is a dusty old tale by this point. Long story short, in the ancient world, dead gods were acting up, so our ancestors started purifying the air and burning the bodies of the deceased to guard the border between life and death. These days, we don't deal with the wrath of the gods anymore, but all the relevant know-how is still passed down to each generation, so we can identify gods' remains when we see them.
Okay, Paimon gets it now. Wait, so how did Baizhu learn to spot them?
Almost certainly from his master, who was also my great-uncle. Baiju's master was my grandpa's younger brother, a former deputy director of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Wow, fancy that! Huh. So, if he was from Wangsheng Funeral Parlor, how did he end up as Baiju's master?
According to my grandpa, he and my great-uncle once went traveling together when they were young. They ended up at Chenyu Vale, where they met a pharmacist. That pharmacist must have cast some sort of spell on my great-uncle, because after that encounter, he suddenly announced he wanted to leave the family business and go practice medicine instead. My grandpa had a huge argument with him, but he couldn't convince him to stay. So my grandpa inherited the funeral parlor, while my great-uncle stayed in Chenyu Vale to practice medicine. They never spoke to each other again.
So I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the magic and circumstances around Chengsheng have something to do with this.
Funeral director to doctor is a pretty big career change. Kinda hard to imagine. But why did it drive a wedge between them for the rest of their lives? That seems a bit extreme.
If he had just become a regular doctor, there would have been no issue. After all, the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor wasn't unlike a regular doctor's clinic in the early days.
Huh.
But according to my grandpa, the pharmacist they met had a very ominous aura about him. And on top of that, the kind of medicine practiced in the Chenyu Vale tradition goes against the natural order of things.
In what way?
Don't know. My grandpa didn't know the specifics, and you've seen how wary Baizhu is around me. He'd never tell me anything. But even that says to me that he definitely has something to hide. One thing I do know about Baizhu is that he's obsessed with the idea of immortality, but whether that has anything to do with what he's hiding is hard to say.
Immortality?
Anyway, so I will be sticking around here for now to keep a close eye on the situation. Maybe tomorrow I'll finally figure out what he's up to.
After all that, it seems like we have more questions than answers. Never mind. We'll just have to ask Baizhu himself about all of this tomorrow.
Oh, while you're here, have either of you seen Chi-Chi around?
Not since earlier.
It's not every day I get to infiltrate Baizhu's lair, but alas, I didn't catch a single glimpse of her anywhere. Aha! What if Baizhu knew I'd be on the lookout for her and hid her away in advance?
The continuing we'll say chase of Chi-Chi from Hu Tao. They're further canonizing what I believe kind of started out as a meme. All right.
It's a new day! Let's go back to Boo Boo Pharmacy and check out how Xiao Liang is doing.
Honey, you won't get better.
All right. Hu Tao's back too.
Dad!
Oh, are you?
Dad, you remember me!
Yes, I remember now. Oh, Ayu, I'm so sorry. You must have been worried sick. Has your mom shown up yet? She's been gone for a while, hasn't she?
Don't worry, Dad. I got the Adventurers Guild to help us look for her. And Dr. Baizhu's gonna help too. Right now, all you need to do is concentrate on getting better.
Great. That's wonderful. I can't thank you enough, Dr. Baizhu.
Tangy, how much more do you have, TH? I don't know, like 12 or 13 million? Why?
My pleasure, really. It's the least I can do to honor my late master's dying wish. If anything, I should be apologizing to you for not making the time to visit in all these years.
Not at all, Dr. Baizhu. It's only because Jiang Li... What was her reason again?
You're still in the early stages of recovery, so you'll need to take it easy for a while. Take it slowly and try not to overexert yourself.
I suggest you stay at Boo Boo Pharmacy and rest for at least the next few days.
Director Hu, do you have any further reservations about Jia Liang's condition?
It seems like the evil presence is gone after all. You really did manage to suppress it, huh?
He doesn't seem all there, though. Like, he's still... He doesn't look all right.
But how did you accomplish this in a single night?
That would be a trade secret, I'm afraid. If that gives you any cause for concern, you may continue to monitor Jia Liang for as long as you wish. Though I regret to say that Boo Boo Pharmacy cannot offer to reimburse Wang Sheng Funeral Parlor for any revenue lost in the meantime.
Oh, come on, Baizhu. I'm not that unreasonable.
Yeah. Something's wrong.
I've been stuck indoors for too long. Baizhu, take me outside for some air, or I'm going to suffocate.
Yes, of course. Everyone, please excuse Changsheng and myself for a moment.
Suffering now, are we? Did you seriously expect to cover it up just by putting on a brave face and ignoring it? If it weren't for my quick thinking, they'd have all seen the sorry state you're in by now. But in any case, why must you keep this a secret from everybody? You should at least share your secret with one person you trust.
Who's there?
It is me.
Why did you follow us here?
I thought you were looking a little unwell.
Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to get some air.
Yeah.
What did I just say about putting on a brave face? Traveler, Paimon, the truth is, Baizhu did not cure Jialiang's illness. Instead, he transferred some of his own life force to his patient to temporarily subdue the poison in his system.
Interesting.
Baizhu, can you please explain all of this?
My predecessors in medicine forged a contract with Changsheng. Every successor to this contract is able to use Changsheng's secret art to treat patients. I believe the irregularities with Jialiang's heart meridian were likely caused by a poison concocted using god remains as a key ingredient. The poison has not been purged from Jialiang's system. Rather, I infused him with some of my own life force, using Changsheng as the delivery medium. This will suppress the poison's effects for a limited time.
Changsheng? You can do that? Huh. Paimon always thought you were just Baiju's strange choice of a necklace.
Come on.
Hey, I'll have you know that I commanded the respect of even the Adepti back in Chenyu Vale. If anything, he is my mannequin. I was treating patients with Baiju's master's master long before he ever set eyes on his first medical text. Whoa. Guess you shouldn't judge a snake by its skin.
Womp.
Please, that's enough.
You're looking even worse now than before. Are you sure you're okay?
Wait a sec. Huto was saying that the branch of medicine you studied uses some pretty dubious methods. So, when you transfer your life force, does that mean you're actually damaging your own body?
It kind of seems that way, yeah.
Hardly.
Hardly,
Changsheng helps to
huh?
keep my chi in balance, so there is no great harm done.
Whatever you say, man.
Still, Baiju's life force is not unlimited. We must find a way to neutralize the poison in Jialiang's body, and soon. Traveler, Paimon, would you lend this dummy a hand? He needs someone checking up on him, or he'll exhaust himself trying to accomplish everything on his own.
Go on, Baizhu. Let us help you.
Baizhu, don't you think you should seize this opportunity? You cannot expect to hide this from everyone for your entire life. Time will see that all secrets surface eventually.
Entire life. Thank you, Traveler and Paimon.
Huh. Paimon doesn't think we've seen this side of you. But there's no need to thank us. You've helped us out before.
So, what are your next steps?
The poison in Jialiang's system must have accumulated over a prolonged period. I think I should pay a visit to their family home and look for clues as to how he might have been exposed to it.
Do you know where his house is?
Yes. I asked Ayu this morning before you arrived. He told me that his family lives in a secluded spot to the west of Qingsa village. Let's head there together once.
And now my audio's back. But things got unbalanced for some reason. Alright, can everybody still hear me? That was super weird. Alright. I think everything should be good. That was super weird. I'm gonna assume everybody can still hear me. It looks like all of my balancers still look good after everything came back. That was super awkward though. I don't know if I understand that at all. Okay, weird. Tangy says he's so gonna die. You know, I can see the obvious death flags, but to me it's more like I think Baiju's arc is going to be how he avoids the inevitable. Because he made, and if you go back and you look at the trailer that they released for him a couple of weeks ago, he has that whole line about like being resolute, that he's going to be the last healer to take on the power that Chung Chung provides. But like her life force is tied into all of the healers. So like for him to decide it's over means he's like deciding for Chung Chung that she is going to die as well. So it's like, to me, like the constant reminders of his mortality is like, I think his arc is going to be him seeking immortality so that he no longer has to pass that burden on to other healers. It will just remain his. And if he is an immortal, then he has an unlimited life force to transfer theoretically to help others. So that's kind of the way I interpret his burden, is that he's trying to find a way to be the final holder of this power so that he can continue to help people indefinitely and no one else will have to die.
As well as investigating Jia Liang's exposure to the poison, we should also keep an eye out for Ayu's missing mother, my fellow disciple Jiang Li.
All right. The quest for a cure. Go to the west of Chinsa village. Let me restart my recording here too. Especially just in case anything weird happened audio-wise after that little blip. Every now and then it seems like my whole like USB situation kind of hiccups, and it causes some weird anomalies. And it might be because I have two rather sizable USB hubs driving all of my peripherals. They're both powered USB hubs, but it's, I don't know, maybe I might need to look into replacing one of them. And I don't know if there's something wrong with one of them and it's just causing it to have some issues. Not really sure.
Whoa! There's a house all the way out here? Huh. It's so well hidden, Paimon's never noticed it before.
Nor have I. And I've hosted clinics at Qingsa Village many times in the past. If you ask me, Jiang Li was trying to remain unnoticed.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. We meant to ask earlier, but it slipped our minds in the rush to get here. Could you tell us more about Jiang Li? You said she was your fellow disciple, right?
She was indeed. We studied medicine together under the same master near Chenyu Vale. She is several years older than I and also began her travels far earlier than me. As a result, the time I spent studying alongside her was rather short.
Supposedly, she met an herb gatherer sometime during her travels and decided to settle down with him. That must have been Jialiang. Wait, Changxiang, are you saying neither of you had actually met Jialiang or Ayu before all of this?
Jiang Li did occasionally come back to Chenyu Vale to see our master, but for whatever reason, she hardly ever talked about her family. The last time she visited us, she and Master had some sort of quarrel. We never heard from her after that. It almost seemed as if she'd gone into hiding.
Quarrel? What happened? I don't know. I did not witness the argument myself.
Nor did Master ever explain it to me. All he would say is that should I ever encounter Jiangli or her family in the future, I should do everything in my power to help them.
Oh, so that's why you went to such extreme lengths to help Jialiang.
No. Even if my master had never said anything, it would still be my duty as a doctor to help him. My decision would have remained the same.
Paimon never knew you were so selfless, Baizhu. Paimon always had you down as the sneaky, scheming type. Sorry.
So a few words from me is enough to dispel all your suspicions, hmm? You ought not be quite so quick to relax your guard, Paimon. Sometimes even the good guys have their own private agenda.
What the? Okay, that was the most suspicious sounding thing you've ever said.
Let's leave the idle chatter there for now, hmm? Jiangli has lived in this house for many years. There must be something here that can shed a little light on this whole situation. Let's split up, but if anyone finds anything, we'll examine it together.
Alright. Look for clues in the area. Okay. Observe the wooden pillar. Several faint marks can be seen on the pillar. Maybe it was used to record Ayu's height as he grew up. There's some faded writing near the bottom mark. The more quickly Ayu grows up, the sooner blank can leave. Judging by the number of marks on the pillar, the family had led a secluded existence here for many, many years. Alright. Looks like everything else is around the back, maybe. The firewood is neatly stacked and the logs were cut with great power and precision. Whoever chopped the firewood must have been physically fit. Some logs at the bottom of the pile have begun to rot. It must have been a while since any new wood was added to the pile. Interesting that they're introducing god residue in a game like this. Paimon, don't be rude to the wife. Yeah, good. At this point, I don't think anyone in Genshin will die. Well, in the snake legend from China, the doctor does die, but is revived by the white snake wife using an immortality herb. Paimon being judgmental and rude, but what else is new? True. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like they could have a similar situation with Baizhu where, like, he dies temporarily and then is, yeah, revived, that kind of thing, but I feel like his arc will be destined for, like, no death. Now, I do want to say that even, I think Honkai was around a while before they had their first, like, character death. And it wouldn't be the first time, you know, obviously, like, a gacha game had done, like, a character death. But I don't necessarily believe that, I don't know, like, I do feel like there's some characters that could, but I don't read that from Baizhu, not permanently anyway. Some roof tiles broke. Mom and I tried to get up and take a look, but we didn't manage. Luckily, Dad was able to fix them in no time. The dinner table was a bit wobbly today when we sat down to eat. Dad tried to fix it, but ended up breaking one of the legs by accident. Dad's forgetting things again. I'll have to write it all down for now and read it back to him when he's feeling a bit better.
Traveler, Paimon, come quick!
Okay.
What is this?
Ominous purple glow of Archon residue, probably?
Changsheng and
Kind of
I found a
matches what
hidden
was going on
compartment.
with
This
Pele.
is what was hidden inside.
God remains.
You sense it too? You're right. This is a poison concocted using god remains.
So, why is it here?
Is it breathing? Paimon's not seeing things, is she?
Breathing?
No, your eyes do not deceive you. I do believe the poison in this bottle is alive.
Okay.
Some toxins act a lot like living organisms. I read about this once in The Origins and Symptoms of Diseases. This ancient class of poisons consists of mother and minor loads, capable of sustaining a connection over vast distances. If it's a concoction of this kind we're dealing with, then both the poison in Jialiang's system and this one here are likely minor loads. Offshoots, essentially.
Offshoots? So, the main body is somewhere else?
Correct. Whoever is administering the poison can manipulate the source to indirectly control the poisoned individual's behavior and even cognition. Similarly, the poisoned individual will hear, to a varying extent, the call of the source.
The call of the... Wait. So, back when Jialiang ran off, maybe that explains where he was heading!
He was going back towards Chinsa village.
Only one thing could have been drawing him there. The source of the god remains used as the poison's key ingredient, the mother lode.
This is getting crazier and crazier. What kind of person would do all this just to poison Jialiang? Hey, why has everyone gone quiet all of a sudden?
Well, at least by the manga, the implied connection is Fatui, and more specifically Dottore.
Since this poison was carefully hidden away in a secret compartment, the one who concocted it is likely a resident of the house.
So what do they have a connection then to the Fatui? Like, what is going on with this?
You mean Jialiang? Why would he poison himself? Think a little harder, Paimon. Someone else who lives here, and who might have expertise in crafting drugs. Huh? So you're saying... it was Jiang Li?
It seems like, yeah.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense either! Why would she poison her own husband?
I agree. It makes little sense. Jiang Li does not strike me as the kind of person who would do such a thing.
Look at the facts, though. How many people in the entirety of Liyue have the ability to concoct a poison from god remains?
It's too early to draw any conclusions. We should question Jialiang about it once he has made more progress in his recovery.
Do you know of a method to neutralize the poison?
Yes. According to the Origins and Symptoms of Diseases, the minor loads will disappear if the mother lode is purged. So if we can find and destroy the source of these god remains, the poison will leave Jialiang's system without the need for any further treatment. Do you know anything about god remains in Qingsa village?
Only heard the rumors. Nothing concrete.
Even the history books have no record of this. The only ones who'll know anything are those old fogies who have been hanging around here since the beginning of time.
Go ask Sino. He's probably too busy playing TCG.
Good terms with the Adepti, though? You sure they didn't tell you anything about this? Well,
Changsheng's memories and powers are not what they were in her prime. These days, she has to enter a contract with a mortal and share their life force just to sustain her own life. I fear that such ancient events are long gone from her memory by now.
Whoa, what? Enter a contract? Share life force? Sounds like some pretty spooky sorcery if you ask Paimon. Hey, plenty of people would jump at the chance to join forces with a powerful being like me. With my assistance in rebalancing your chi, not only can you extend your lifespan, but you will also be stronger, healthier, and able to eat whatever you like with no risk of upsetting your stomach. Stronger and healthier? Wow, that's amazing!
I feel like Paimon was definitely in at eat whatever you want.
Baizhu, maybe when you retire, You can let Paimon sign a contract with Changsheng for a few days.
I don't think that's how it works, Paimon.
Unfortunately, Changsheng's contract has strict requirements regarding the host's temperament. None of her hosts have ever been exempted from these rules. I fear that I will be unable to accommodate your wishes, Paimon.
Temperament? Hey! What are you trying to say? Did you just subtly insult Paimon to her face?
Maybe. Baizhu has a weak constitution. And didn't his master pass away at an early age?
Ugh! Paimon's mad! You're getting ugly nicknames, both of you! Baizhu, you're Mannequin Man! Changsheng, you're just a pain in the neck!
So it's now Mannequin Man and pain in the neck?
This is exactly why your natural temperament makes you woefully unsuited to being my host.
All right, everybody, calm down. Back to the matter at hand. Is there any way at all for us to seek counsel from the Adepti about this?
With how antisocial they are? If it were up to them, they'd go their whole lives without showing their faces to the common folk.
So the traveler usually has the ability to just be like, hey, Xiao, come out, and Xiao just appears. So I'm going to guess that this actually, I do have someone I can call. This is going to be Xiao.
Seems you're as well connected as they say, traveler. We are truly fortunate to have you on our side.
Oh, if you're talking about who Paimon thinks you're talking about, you better do the honors.
Yep, Xiao. Are you there? Yep.
You called?
Like, you know, like when it comes to the traveler, at least Xiao's like the guy who just like sits on the edge of his chair with his phone waiting for a text message because he has no friends. But he doesn't like people. He's good with the traveler. Or at least he doesn't like interacting with people.
Gets Paimon every time. Are all Adepti in the habit of materializing out of thin air like this?
Well, this is unexpected.
Huh? It's you.
It's you?
Baizhu of Boo Boo Pharmacy. I do believe I've had the pleasure before.
Okay.
The Lantern Rite, when we met briefly, I was unaware of your true identity. I must apologize for the discourtesy.
Trying to think which Lantern Rite that was. Was it? Can't remember. Was it maybe the first one? Yeah, it's been a while.
You two already
I don't know.
each other?
Did it happen off screen?
Our paths have crossed once before. I sense the presence of evil spirits. Is this why you called me?
Let me explain. Actually, I wanted to ask you about dead gods. I definitely do think Kale's god residue situation will come up again in the future, especially if they're bringing up god residue now. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely. How dare you, poor Xiao. Xiao should be a delivery boy. Yeah, he'd be really good at that. Have to go. Have fun in Astoria. Hey, have a good one. He just referenced the LR trailer Xiao got, Lantern Rite trailer he got earlier this year. Why do I not remember that? In the PV video? I don't know that I remember that. Interesting. See, I wanted to ask you about dead gods. Alright, you tell Xiao everything that has happened.
So someone has been concocting demonic poison. Too often, fervent desires drive mortals to abandon all regard for their own safety. It is lamentable. I now know what you seek. It is true that a god's remains are buried beneath the foundations of Qingce village. A vile monster known as the Che once wrought havoc over this land, before it was subdued by Rex Lapis. The land was finally cleansed of poison when Rex Lapis used Qingce village was founded some time after that. The seal is still mostly intact. If the Ch is the source, then it must be some of its blood leaking from deep underground. However, its aura is faint and barely detectable. You will need to investigate further to identify the location of the leak.
I see.
I do not like to intervene against mortals unless absolutely necessary. But when demonic forces are involved, things can spiral out of control. If that happens, be sure to call my name again.
I will. Thank you, Xiao.
Nothing. I do not wish to sway decisions that are mortals to make, but immortality may not be the blessing that you imagine it to be.
I shall treasure your words of instruction, Master Adeptus.
Farewell.
Yeah, so that is a warning that definitely kind of mimics the foreshadowed nature that I was talking about earlier, where I do believe that Baizhu's journey is seeking immortality.
What a strange Adeptus. Rather different from the way I remember them.
That's Xiao for ya! And thanks to him, we finally got some concrete info to go off of.
If the god remains are leaking from underground, Jiangli must be paying a visit to a subterranean cave on her herb-gathering trips. If we can find the cave...
Master, there's a problem.
Uh-oh.
Gui? Did you run all the way from Boo Boo Pharmacy?
What happened? Don't panic. Just catch your breath and tell me everything.
It's Jiaoliang. He was fine one minute, and then he suddenly took a turn for the worse.
Uh-oh.
Already?
Yeah.
How?
That seems sooner than anticipated.
Based on past experience, he should have been fine for the next 3 days at least.
It seems that my worst fears have been confirmed. Everyone, back to Boo Boo Pharmacy now!
Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. Back to the pharmacy, but we're gonna wait a moment because I want to see this trailer that was being referenced here. So I'm gonna see if I can pull that up really quick, because I am unfamiliar with this trailer, and I'm quite certain that I watched it, and maybe I'm just not remembering it, which is a little weird. Let's see. Couldn't have been that long ago, right? It would have had to have been during the last Lantern Rite, which was only a couple of versions ago.
This is pushing it.
Let's see here. Let's see here. I am not seeing necessarily what you guys are talking about here. Trying to get this to balance out the way I want to here. Alright. Does anybody remember which trailer this was? So, a Xiao trailer at Lantern Rite. I feel like that was more recent than this. Was it 3.3 or 3.4? Okay, here. Would have been around here. I don't know. Lantern Rites? No, it wouldn't have been this. Should be higher up. Anime style 2D. No, that's special program. Was it possibly the promotional video? I definitely did watch that. Right beside Al-Haytham. Let's see. Oh, the Endless Suffering. I definitely did watch that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's re-review this.
Evil takes on many forms, but always carries a karmic curse. It spawns monsters that lurk in the mountains where the Adepti dwell, preying on the living for decades. It manifests as devastating pestilences, scarring the world for centuries. It is the sworn duty of the Yaksha to purge all evil. But after millennia of bloodshed, karma takes a toll. A moment of complacency, and I too will succumb to the darkness. An instant of negligence, and it will turn me into one of the monsters I swore to purge. After millennia of suffering and endless slaughter, I now see things for what they really are.
You slept the whole day through, you know. Good thing you're awake. You're just in time for the lantern rite.
I carried you here on my back.
I do vaguely remember that.
I'll get you some medicine now.
I'm all for
Chi-Chi must be
work-life
strong.
balance, but I think this is pushing it.
Didn't ask for your commentary, Kuching.
Did I scare you?
Man, enough procrastinating.
This mask is to scare away monsters. It really works. You don't need to be afraid.
I appreciate you, Aether.
Are you okay? You look tired. Grandpa,
He
give him
always
some
looks
rice wine
tired.
pudding.
Well, hello there. Care to join me for a drink on this fine evening? Huh? Oh, you started celebrating already. Any rice wine for me?
Seize the opportunity while
Sorry.
it's there.
Tonight, I just want to rest.
Very nice. It's good to take the mask off once in a while, even just for one night.
So I definitely, like, as you guys could have seen, like when I started the trailer here, I had definitely watched it before. I completely forgot about this though. God, I don't know how I forgot about such a beautifully done trailer. Yeah, because that one was
I'm all for
seriously
work-life
impressive.
balance, but
And I
think
don't
this
know
is pushing it.
how I stopped tracking one so memorable. Yeah. Wow, okay. Well, good. I'm kind of glad that that you guys were ready to catch on that reference, because for some reason my my reference catcher wasn't functioning on that one, I guess. It's been a weird 6 months though, you guys. All right. Let's head up the hill.
Dad, what's wrong? Dad?
Well, thanks for stopping in, Aether. Appreciate it.
Don't be scared. Dr. Baizhu will be back soon.
How is he doing?
Dr. Baizhu, you're back! My dad was doing fine earlier, but then he suddenly started coughing up blood. Now he can't even get a full word
Things
out
got
anymore.
serious.
When Gui left, he was still conscious. But now...
Gui, please take Jialiang to the back room and prepare for treatment.
Yes, of course.
Don't worry, Ayu. I will cure your father.
Hey, C3, also thanks for stopping in. Have a good one. Good luck on that exam, I think it was you said you were working on.
Baiju's not gonna use Changsheng's secret art again, is he? Is there really no other way to save Jialiang?
Oh, please don't worry. Dr. Baizhu will find a way.
But...
Alright, wait till the next morning, 8 to 10 o'clock. I feel like I need to temper the delay a little more. 'Cause it seems like the delay is like way too much. I think I have like a 60-second delay going right now, and it's just like too damn much.
How are you feeling, Dad? Are you still hurting anywhere? You're not gonna suddenly collapse again, are you?
Much better, Ayu. I'm feeling much better. In fact, I can't explain it, but somehow I feel even better than usual. Wait, where's Dr. Baizhu? I still haven't had a chance to thank him. Seems he moved me here before I came to.
Master said he needed to take a quick rest and asked me to bring you out of the treatment room. He hasn't emerged yet, so he must still be resting.
Oh, really? Well, he must be tired from treating me for 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, they're further. Yeah, he used the power again. Yeah, I mean this, like that ever increasing reminder for Baizhu that he's still immortal. And I think Xiao warned him against the curse of immortality, but I think Baiju's gonna still barrel straight on into that at some point. And honestly, like, I'm kind of here for that progression. I really would like to see him succeed in that, because he wants to do it to help people. So it's usually when you have these characters who are seeking immortality, usually they're seeking it for self-interest. He just doesn't want any other healers to have to take Changsheng's power and slowly die because of it. He just wants to be able to help people, basically having, an unexhaustible battery to help people.
I don't know how I can begin to repay him for saving my life. I'll have to discuss it properly with Jiangli once we find her. Speaking of which, has there been any word of her whereabouts yet?
No, the Adventurers Guild hasn't gotten back to me yet. I'll go check with them again in a bit.
It also kind of seems a little bit like she poisoned you, dude, so,
I'll come with...
Don't forget what Master said. You're still not out of the woods yet, Jialiang. I strongly suggest that you stay and rest at Boo Boo Pharmacy for now. I can accompany Ayu to the Adventurers Guild.
I suppose you're right. I'll have to rely on you this time. Though, on the bright side, this means I can thank Dr. Baizhu in person once he's finished resting.
Traveler, Baizhu hasn't shown his face ever since he went in to treat Jialiang again. Do you think he...
Let's go check up on him.
Huh? Hey, wait up!
So, White Koniko, I agree. You'd like to see Baizhu meet Dainsleif since he's cursed with immortality. Yeah, I feel like there could be an interesting interaction there as well. This would be another person who would probably warn him off that path. But still, it doesn't change that, Baiju's goal is still rather honorable in nature, just because he wants to help people.
You're finally awake? That was far too risky. even with me here to help you balance your chi.
Furthermore, like, just the nature of doing the kind of healing that he's doing, which is transferring his own life force off to heal others. This is a person who is more than, willing to, like, lay on the line, as it were, to help others. So for him to seek the curse of immortality, as it's sometimes described in Genshin, for him to seek that, and whatever pain that might bring him, he's the kind of character who will accept that burden, I think, no matter what anybody tells him.
There was no time. I had no other choice. In any case, it was not completely without benefit to myself. I managed to learn something. Jiangli's design is quite brilliant. She makes numerous innovations that I can learn from. Alas, if only there wasn't a catch.
So, how much longer do you think Baizhu's gonna nap for?
They've been outside waiting for you the whole time while you were asleep. Shall we at least go and show our faces?
All right.
Surely he hasn't. There's no way he could have just...
Who's talking behind our backs again?
Baizhu! Changsheng!
Are you both okay?
Of course. There's no need to be concerned. I merely had to transfer a rather large amount of life force on this occasion. But, with Changsheng's help, I will recover in time.
Xiao seemed fine yesterday. Why did he need more life-saving treatment again so soon?
I made an error in my initial diagnosis. Jialiang is in fact suffering from more than one ailment.
Well, that's unexpected.
And as a result, his life force depleted at a greater rate than I had anticipated.
What? You mean, even if you got all the poison out of him, he'd still be sick?
Yes.
Definitely unfortunate.
But more pertinently, the poison in Jialiang's system is there precisely because it is being used to manage his underlying medical condition. Jialiang has a rare congenital heart condition, and ongoing treatment is essential to maintaining healthy functioning of his heart meridian. Left untreated, it puts the patient at risk of coughing up blood and fainting, and in the longer term, causes irreversible damage to the internal organs. Though it was created from god remains, this formula is not a poison in Jialiang's case. Rather, it's his medication.
Had he not taken it all these years, he likely would have died a long time ago.
So that's why Jiangli did it.
Still, using poison to treat a disease is hardly a viable long-term solution. As time passed, and the poison accumulated in his system, it began to impact his cognition. Moreover, the longer he relied upon this medicine, the more resistant his body became to it. Jiangli had to concoct ever greater quantities to ensure its continued efficacy, or he could have still perished at any moment.
That explains why Ayu said his dad has been getting worse, and why his mom went off to gather herbs.
God remains are extremely dangerous to be around, because humans have no natural defense against them. I shudder to think how many times Jiangli has exposed herself to them.
Yeah, she can't be doing so great either.
I fear that the situation is just as that Adeptus described. In an effort to save Jialiang's life, Jiangli has abandoned all regard for her own safety.
I never suspected that even Jiangli would turn to the same path as so many others over the years. Perhaps this is the inevitable course of fate. To sacrifice one's own life to save others. To go beyond human means in order to do the impossible, whatever the cost may be.
Well, I think that it's too early to say with any certainty what fate has in mind. In any case, I have stabilized Jialiang's condition for now, so our immediate priority should be to get ourselves back to Qingce village and find out where Jiangli is. Her regular exposure to god remains over such a long period will have been catastrophic for her health. And given that she's already been missing for several days, I am fearing the worst.
That would be unfortunate. Also, yeah, he's been listening in. Well, your secret's
It's
out.
me, Traveler, Dr. Baizhu.
It's Xiao. Don't tell Paimon you overheard everything already.
Dr. Baizhu, please let me come with you. You've already done so much for my family. I can no longer just sit here and watch while you put yourself at risk for Jiangli's sake. After all, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have had to put herself in harm's way in the first place. I know I won't be of much help in battle, but at the very least, I can show you the way. I'm sure I'll be able to remember. I know there's a spot where she says goodbye to me every time she goes to gather her herbs. I'm sure I'll remember. I have to remember.
Be careful. If you get too agitated, your blood pressure and stress levels will rise, putting further pressure on your heart. For your own safety, you should stay here and rest.
No! We're out of time! We have to go now. Right now. Before I forget everything again.
This trip will be extremely dangerous, and there is a very real possibility that you will not return from it. Are you sure you're prepared for that?
I never expected to live this long in the first place. My death is already long overdue, so why should I fear it? There's only one thing I fear now, and that's that I'll forget her again before we manage to find her.
Very well. Then follow me.
Not surprising that Hu Tao would be following along as well. Like, everybody's just eavesdropping. Yep, there's Chi-Chi.
Dr. Baizhu, are you heading out again?
Yes. This could be a long one. Could you please prepare a dose of the usual formula? Please add an extra measure of mistgrass pollen and 1 dose each of the ingredients from the 3rd and 5th compartments of my medicine cabinet. I hope it works.
Dr. Baizhu, do you mean...
Hop to it now, and remember to be careful with the cauldron this time. You don't want to burn yourself again.
Again?
Okay.
The challenges of allowing small, lethargic children to work with cauldrons. You looking at the wall, Chi-Chi?
Everyone, please
The cabinet.
be careful.
Okay. Let's see. Dane, oddly enough, praises Baizhu in his miscellaneous trailer. It's very intriguing. Yeah, I do recall that. Skirmish says, I'm guessing it's because Baiju's reasons for seeking immortality are more noble in nature, rather than power-hungry people Dane is used to seeing. That's, yeah, probably what the case is. He wants to save lives, present and future ones. I've adored Baizhu since I started playing. Not once did I see a man with bad motives. He's sus, but not in an evil way. Yeah, I mean, he has his own secrets, right? But they're not malicious secrets. It always made me angry. People called him Orochimaru when he's more like Blackjack or Sunder in his motives. or Sanad, I'm sorry.
In
If
adventuring,
anybody's
as in business,
like
you always have to seize the
Orochimaru,
opportunity while
it's
it's there.
Dottore. Yeah, Dottore is definitely the sinister doctor here, not Baizhu. Absolutely. And it's interesting that, you know, like their paths are both, you know, intertwined with Archon Resolute as it is. All right. Up on the hill on the opposite side.
Don't blink!
All right. Let's see what happens here. Oh, nope, it's down here on the other side. Makes sense.
That strange feeling is back. It's just like the day I went missing. It's as if something inside me is trying to guide me somewhere.
The Motherlode's influence is growing stronger. But is it because we're getting closer to the source? Or because the leakage of Che blood is growing more severe? Jialiang, can you sense which direction the source is in?
I think it's this way. Yes, I'm sure of it.
It's like he just tried to suicide into that lightning bolt.
I feel a dull ache in my heart. This must be the way.
Might want to watch out, dude. There's some some electrical activity going on around here.
I think I've been here before.
Okay, so there's like a domain.
There is an inauspicious presence here. Even I can sense it.
I think I remember this place.
Xiaoliang, are you okay? Maybe you should rest here while we continue the search.
No, I have to keep going. Jiangli is still waiting for me. Then let's hurry.
Entanglement of past dreams. The restless force within Jialiang has beckoned him ceaselessly, drawing everyone to this place. Here, the stench of evil is growing, and the curtains of fate are soon to fall. Oh, I'm quite sure this will be a trial thing that'll bring Baizhu anyways, so I'm going to change my team. Because I'm going to end up with him no matter what, probably. So, let's go Yelan team. Okay, who stole Ace Dongo again? Yeah. That storm was not playing around.
This place gives Paimon the creeps. Who knows what we're gonna find up ahead?
The digging marks here appear amateur and rather old. I suspect it is a thieves' tunnel.
A thieves' tunnel? Paimon has heard rumors about treasure around these parts before. Maybe it was the treasure hoarders that dug this tunnel.
Judging by the tools they left behind, it's certainly a possibility. But why did they abandon this place without even stopping to pack up their tools?
I remember now. She took me here once and told me that she'd found a way to save me in this cave. But she said that the method would cause me to, curses! Why can't I remember what she said?
Easy, Jialiang. Come on, let's keep going.
Yeah, guy might want to chill out. There's already enough orphaned children in Tavat. We don't need to, they might want to be careful about that.
The wind knows me.
There's a sensor here. Those treasure hoarders sure made themselves at home.
Don't see any dust on the sensor's surface. The burn marks on the inside are still fresh. I don't think this was left here by the treasure hoarders.
I believe this sensor was used to burn a monster repelling incense.
Who's walking around?
A monster repelling incense? You sure? 'Cause we did run into that group of monsters just now.
It didn't seem to work very well.
The incense was burned several days ago. If I had to guess, the monsters we fought just now were enticed here by some entity deeper inside the cave. No doubt an encounter with the very same entity was what prompted the treasure hoarders to flee and abandon their designs on this cave. After them, Jiang Li was the next person to discover this place and what lies inside. But to her, it presented an opportunity to save Jia Liang's life, albeit as a last resort.
That's right. This sensor, it belongs to Jiangli. Yes, this was the place. This is where I told Jiangli to give me the poison. I'm fine. Let's keep going. I can feel it. She is right below us, waiting for me.
All right. You guys are talking about the the extreme visual similarities between Pantalone and Baizhu. Yeah, it is suspicious for sure. I don't know that we've ever had confirmation of the voice actor for Pantalone though, so that would be one way to confirm.
We're getting
that.
close. We're almost there. It's right up ahead. The place where we made a pact together to...
From the looks of it, the energy released by this mechanism can not only clear barriers, but also be conducted by corresponding mechanisms. Perhaps it's something we can make use of.
All right. Something I have to push, yeah. Alright, so it doesn't seem like it reaches anything yet, so I need to push it closer to a given entrance and then do it probably. Might be able to get this one from here, possibly. Is that something that was publicly announced? The voice actor? Didn't see that posted anywhere. I guess, yeah, people can figure that stuff out. So yeah, I mean, having different voice actors would tend to make me think that they're not gonna be the same person, but yeah, I mean, they could be like related or something.
Into the wind. Gotcha. Take it easy. Time to go. No.
All right. All right. Let's see. Oh, still seem to be on the right track. I'm pushing that the wrong way. Probably going to... Okay. Well... Alright, now I can probably push it. Yep. I was kind of thinking it was not going to activate until I got it in there, but okay. There's no activation for it yet, though. Not here. Alright, so it doesn't look as if it can really be pushed anywhere else. Awkward, but maybe they will spring off of each other, possibly? Let's see. It might, like, resonate with this one and spread to the next one. Possibly. Yep. That's exactly what it did. Had a feeling. Okay, down. Oh.
Jiangli!
Look out! There's a monster next to her!
The god remains must have lured them here. Watch my back.
Shouldn't be a big deal. Yeah, this guy's pretty much trash. Bye.
Dr. Baizhu, how serious is it? Is she...
I can still feel a pulse, but her condition is quite grave. The god remains here are encroaching on her cognition, much as the poison in your system did to you.
There's a lot here.
If we don't eliminate it soon, then even if we save her life, I fear that she may never wake up again.
Then, what are we waiting for? Let's destroy the remains right away!
It's not as simple as that. Don't you remember what Baizhu said? The poison within Jialiang's body is inextricably linked to the god remains here. If the source is purged, the poison in his system will stop having any effect.
And the poison within Jialiang's body is keeping his heart condition under control. So, if it stops working...
Uh-oh. I'm sensing a choice coming on.
Oh no. Are you saying...
Indeed. If the god remains here are purged, then your life will come to an end.
I wondered when this day might come.
Wait! But we've all been working our butts off to save Jialiang's life! After all that, we can't just give up on him! Baizhu, you're a great doctor! Surely you gotta know of some other way we can save him, right?
You could continue to take the poison, which would buy you some time. As for Jiangli, maybe if we put our heads together, we can think of something?
It appears to me that she was striving to concoct your medicine for you, right up until the moment when she lost consciousness. Maybe it's her greatest wish that you will continue to take it and live.
Dr. Baizhu, give it to me straight. How long does Jiangli have?
The god remains have reached her internal organs. Under ordinary circumstances, I would give her less than 3 days. But if I were to treat her using a secret art...
You can't be thinking about that again.
But what would be the point of that? Dr. Baizhu, I'm all too aware of the dangers of god remains. You are not the first to mention it to me. If I continue to sustain my own life using this wretched substance, not only would Jiangli have to keep risking her life to make my medicine for me, but I would have to live with the looming threat of these remains breaking out and wreaking havoc not just upon me, but my entire family. I know for a fact that I should have died over a decade ago. The fact that I've been around to see you grow up is already a great blessing from Rex Lapis. If my choice can bring Jiangli back, then even if I die...
Xiao.
After cheating death for so long, it seems I've grown somewhat addicted to life. Traveler, Dr. Baizhu, could I have another minute with my wife? I just want to have one final moment together. just a moment. That's all.
Of course.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry that I won't be able to repay your kindness in this life.
Xiaoliang, Baizhu, Changsheng, is there really nothing else you can do?
I am sure that over the years, Jiangli will have tried all the conventional methods known to humankind. As for less conventional methods, I have little expertise besides Changsheng's secret art.
Mortals are fated to grow old and pass on when their natural lifespan runs out. If it were so easy to combat the natural processes of aging and death, Jiangli would not have had to resort to unnatural methods.
What a crazy situation! Jiangli risked it all to save Jialiang's life, and now Jialiang has to sacrifice himself to save Jiangli! What's the point of it all?
All we can do right now is honor Jialiang's decision and bear witness. So I'm waiting for the part where like Hu Tao pops out and is like, I have a solution, because otherwise, why did we see your feet earlier?
I've seen many final farewells in my time, but I can never get used to it.
In the human realm, all things must come to an end. Is it not a fitting end to die for a worthy cause? At least, that's what generations of masters before you have always believed.
The path they chose was indeed a heroic one. But when I think of those who would willingly sacrifice themselves for others, I cannot help but think that theirs are the lives least deserving of death.
When all this began, we agreed that once Xiao was old enough to help you gather herbs, it would be time for me to go. If you could only see him now. He took me all the way to Liyue Harbor to see the doctor. And he even got the Adventurers Guild to search for you. So, I know that you'll both be okay without me. I've said my goodbyes. My time has come. Do what you must.
As you wish.
Alright, well, here we go.
It will eat away at both your cognition and your memories. In the end, you'll become little more than a shadow of your true self.
I'll take it. At the very least, it will allow me to stay with you and watch Xiao grow up.
Mom, something's really wrong with Dad. Don't fret, Xiao. I will gather some medicinal herbs right away. I promise you, nothing will happen to our family.
Why would these memories come to mind now? The longer we live, the tighter we cling to what we have. Oh, how I would love to hear your voice one last time.
Jialiang. 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 Jialiang.
Dad, are you awake?
So,
Xiao
what'd you
Li.
do?
Are you?
Seemed pretty heavy that he was about to go.
Didn't I... Huh? What are these?
Did he just zombie this guy up?
How does it feel
Chi-Chi
to come
style?
back to life?
Do you feel strange or different in any way? If so, could you describe it to me in detail?
Dr. Baizhu, I thought that I was going to...
Die? You did indeed. As things stand now, you're more akin to a zombie than a human.
I'm a zombie?
That's right. Before we set off, I asked Chi-Chi to prepare an elixir of immortality. With its help, you have been suspended in the space between life and death.
Which is probably why Hu Tao doesn't like you.
Of course, this is but a crude imitation of an Adeptus art. I don't expect it to extend your life indefinitely. Whether it will keep you alive for a few days, a few months, or a few years, I am as interested as you to find out. But, however long you have left, I believe it should be more than sufficient time for you to say your final goodbyes before departing the world in peace. I hope that Director Hu finds this arrangement to be a satisfactory one.
An elixir of immortality? How'd you cook that up? Ugh. Leave it to you to work on something like that behind my back.
It's a work in progress that hardly lives up to its name, and it would have had no effect were it not for Jialiang's iron will. In the end, I am merely a doctor. I understand very little of the great principles governing life and death and the perpetual cycle of yin and yang. All I know is that if I'm presented with a life that deserves to be saved, I will do everything in my power to save them. And even this would have counted for nothing without Director Hu's assistance. After all, did you not tell Jia Liang to show us the way before we set off for Qingce village?
Oops. And I'm busted.
Without Director Hu nudging things in the right direction, we may not have found Jiang Li in time.
I knew someone was listening in on that conversation, so it was Hu Tao.
No wonder he didn't mention the elixir back then. I thought he was being frank and transparent with me for once, but apparently not.
Director Hu told me to keep her suggestion a secret, but it seems nothing escapes Dr. Baizhu's attention.
Never underestimate a serpent's sense of smell.
All I wanted was to help Jia Liang find his missing wife as soon as possible, so that he could be on his way to the afterlife without any unfulfilled wishes making the journey more difficult than it needs to be. Leave it to Boo Boo Pharmacy to snatch the perfect opportunity right out of my hands at the last hurdle. Never mind. I'll just have to put it down in the books as a deferred consideration. One Chi-Chi was enough of a conundrum. The last thing I need's another one. If I'd known this was coming, I'd have whisked him off to the Wangsheng funeral parlor the moment I found him.
You stay away from my dad! When I grow up, I'm gonna become an even better doctor than Mom and Baizhu, and cure Dad for good!
Oh, is that right? Well, you wouldn't be the first person who's tried to put Wangsheng Funeral Parlor out of business. If you're serious about it, you'll have your work cut out for you. Traveler, Paimon, I'll catch you all another time.
You are a complicated person, Hu Tao.
Is she finally gone? All's well that ends well. If you ask Paimon, we should probably do something to celebrate this hard-earned family reunion.
Such as Paimon's idea of celebration can only mean, yeah, it's gonna be food.
At times like this, a grand celebratory feast is in order.
It feels like it was a whole lifetime ago when I last talked with Zhongli and Ayu around the dinner table.
This was a hard-won meal. Maybe I'll whip something too. It's been a while.
Yay! Paimon can't wait! Alright, first things first, off to the market for some fresh ingredients. Let's go!
Wait up! I'll come too!
Baizhu, thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Don't mention it, Jiangli. I was just doing my duty.
Just your duty, huh? Baizhu, Changsheng, would you mind if we took this conversation outside?
Now that you are part zombie, there are some rules that you need to know.
Yes, ma'am. I'm listening.
First, don't forget to stretch your body regularly. Second, don't forget to...
Yes? Go on. Don't forget to...
I forgot.
Well, there you go, Chi-Chi. She is the one who, you know, keeps a list of things all the time to not forget things, so there you go. Hello, the weirdo. What's going on? Welcome. Working on this Baizhu quest. Wasn't I supposed to go? Okay, I was going to say, you basically have to press your face into the door to get out of that one. Usually the doors activate from a little bit further away.
Time flies. It's been so long since we bade each other farewell in Chenyu Vale. Changsheng, you're the
Baizhu,
same
did you
as
just
ever.
trip?
You haven't changed one bit.
You, on the other hand, have changed a lot.
You're right. My younger self would have never imagined that things would one day turn out this way.
Well, appreciate you
Or
stopping in, Lo.
that you'd
Appreciate
turn out
it.
this way, Baizhu.
Really do. But yeah, careful spoilers. I'm towards the end of this thing, so. Baizhu keeps tripping. What's going on?
I've taken a look at your elixir of immortality. It's not altogether dissimilar from the poison I concocted in terms of the way it functions.
I have to say, Jiangli, it was a stroke of genius to use poison to maintain life. I hope you're not too upset at me for copying your methods.
No, not at all. With your intellect, even if you'd never seen my poison, I believe you would have eventually arrived at the same approach. But I'm still impressed by how quickly you managed to gain such a thorough understanding of it. Jialiang's still only been in your care for a few days. Not just that, you even managed to improve upon the original formula. That cannot be explained by intellect alone. Baizhu, be honest with me. Did you try out some of the poison on yourself?
Huh. Told you the truth would surface sooner or later.
Life force isn't the only thing that Changsheng's contract lets you transfer between bodies, is it?
Nothing gets past you, Jiangli. You are correct. Besides life force, Changsheng's secret art also allows for the transfer of toxins and diseases. When I treated Jia Liang for the second time, I transferred some of the poison from his body into my own. Not only did this allow me to alleviate the burden on him, but it also gave me an opportunity to study its properties.
Should probably be careful with that.
There is no need to worry about any long-term consequences to my health, however. Now that the source has been destroyed, any remaining poison in me will have already dissipated.
But you took such a huge risk. If we hadn't destroyed the god's remains back there, then even you might have... What am I saying? I'm in no position to criticize you for this. The reason I left our master and went into hiding all those years ago was that he was getting old, and I didn't want him using up any more of his own life force to treat my husband. But in the end, how were my methods any different? I risked one life to save another, and then you tried the poison on yourself too. It looks like both of us have ended up going the same way as our master before us.
Baizhu, very much so.
Are all disciples of Chenyu Vale destined to turn out this way? To live a short life, having given away our own for the sake of others? To fight relentlessly against the natural course of life and death, whatever the cost? Maybe our fate is sealed the moment we decide to study medicine.
Skarma, she said, didn't Sino say something about how God residue doesn't completely dissipate, it'll just lie dormant? So, I do believe he did say that, you know, when they cleansed Kale, that, yeah, it would just lie dormant. However, Baizhu also explained in this quest, the idea that, you know, there was like what is it, the mother load and like a minor load. And so they were taking, you know, the poison from the, you know, the mother load basically and making a smaller portion of it. So having destroyed the mother load to it, I think actually completely alleviates that. So I think it's a specific instance or incidence of the Archon residue in question means that if you destroy that mother load, then that one becomes rendered ineffective. So I think in Kale's case, it lies dormant because they've never destroyed its source, and they probably don't have any idea where it is. They may not even know that that's a thing. And maybe that could be a way that they could come back and explore that later now that they've introduced this as a mechanic.
We are doctors, Jiangli. We ought never say that anyone's fate is sealed.
Baizhu, I can tell that, over the years, you've used the contract with Changshang to transfer many diseases and toxins to yourself. There are so many that some of them I don't even recognize. Can you still stop before it's too late?
We'll see about that.
I think you know the answer, Jiangli. Every one of us from Chenyu Vale believes in the same thing.
Hey, food's ready!
Mom, come and join us! The Traveler taught me a load of new recipes, and said even Dad'll be able to taste them. Come and try them out!
Yes, darling. Mom will be there in just a second. Hey, slow down. Baizhu, I know I won't be able to convince you, but please don't forget that if one day you're not around anymore, Chi-Chi, Gui, and all the friends who have grown fond of you, they will all miss you dearly.
There's no need to worry, Jiangli. I know what I'm doing.
I can only hope so.
Well, he's definitely dedicated to his journey. You're a complicated guy, Baizhu.
Baizhu, what did Jiangli mean by not around anymore? Are you gonna be okay?
Also, when Changsheng was talking about fate, what did she mean exactly?
Every single mortal I've ever contracted with, including Baizhu and Zhengli's master, has passed away at a young age.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. You said that the contract with you helps people live longer.
Other people live longer, Paimon.
It is a very long story.
Long ago, when plagues ravaged the land, one doctor made a pledge to rid the world of pain and suffering. But even the most ingenious mortal medicine could not stay the tide of disease. And after working tirelessly for many years, even his dearest loved ones fell sick and bade their final farewell. Legends told of an herb lord in Chenyu Vale who could cure any illness known to mankind. The doctor sought the herb lord, but found only a white snake, its breathing weak and its power all but spent.
Sign this contract and let our lives be joined. Then I will impart to you the secret art of healing. But be warned, this art will harm your own health.
With means beyond human ken, the doctor could now reverse the process of death. And yet, the time still came to say goodbye. Only now, the one departing was the doctor, his life force spent. His final act in life was to pass on the contract to his final patient, his favorite disciple. The disciple chose to dedicate their life to saving the lives of others. And generation upon generation followed in these footsteps. Since I inherited this contract, I've always respected the path taken by my predecessors, and followed it myself unquestioningly. That is, until I tried to use the art to save my own disciple's beloved. She begged me not to use up my own life force. She said that this art is a poisoned chalice, an evil and unnatural practice. She did not wish to sacrifice one life for the sake of another, when both were lives she treasured. Only then did it occur to me. Did I not suffer when my master passed away, just as patients' families do at their loved one's deathbed? Are not the lives cut short by this contract just as worthy of saving as any patients? What is this contract to us? Medicine or poison? Alas, I no longer have enough time left to find the answer. I entrust to your care both Changsheng and this final question. May you find a remedy for this conundrum, which has ailed us so.
Time and again, no matter how much I try to warn them or balance their chi, I can never save them. And you? What's your answer?
If I abandoned the contract and left you without a host, what would happen?
I suppose I'd spend my final moments taking a nice nap on Mount Yaojun. Then I'd be reunited with my old friends and your predecessors.
Then it's decided. If there's a life in front of me that deserves to be saved, why shouldn't I do everything within my power to save it?
Once again, it's the same answer. So be it. Close your eyes. Who knows how many more people will take on this contract?
None. This contract will end with me.
My contract
Ow.
has strict requirements on the host's natural temperament. All my hosts have been most pure of heart.
Yikes, that is, yeah, that's... Ow. Why you gotta do that, Genshin? Why you gotta do that?
But when one with an altruistic nature gains access to this art, they are more seduced than the average person by the miracle of overturning the laws of life and death. Though they know better than anyone else the fate that awaits them, when faced with the sorrows of humanity and the pain of losing their nearest and dearest, they cannot help but reach beyond human means. They are like moths that throw themselves into the flame, seeking a glimmer of hope in a dark world filled with pain and suffering.
So, Baizhu, does that mean...
I suppose that would make me a moth that yearns for the light, but doesn't want to be burned to a crisp.
Yeah.
Cheng Sheng's art can transfer pain and suffering between people, but it cannot reduce the total amount of pain in the world. It's just like we witnessed. Either Jia Liang feared for Jiang Li's life, or Jiang Li grieved over Jia Liang's sacrifice. I have nothing but the utmost respect for my predecessors, who sacrificed their lives for their principles. But I do not wish to join their ranks, nor do I wish to pass on this contract to anyone else in the future.
Huh? But didn't you already transfer a ton of diseases onto yourself?
What makes a poison, poison? And what makes a disease, a disease? When it comes down to it, are not both mechanisms that affect the operations of the human body? If disease is defined as deviation from normal functioning, then who knows? Perhaps the true elixir of immortality could in fact be a kind of poison. Many may view the notion of searching for immortality in poisons and illnesses as a flagrant violation of the natural order. But to me, it is no different from the way our ancestors tested the medicinal qualities of herbs by sampling each and every one. I don't want those who come after me to lose their lives to this contract, nor do I wish for Cheng Sheng to perish from losing her host. This leaves only one solution, doesn't it?
It does. The elixir of immortality. You have to become immortal yourself.
Precisely. I will be Cheng Sheng's final host, and the tradition of passing down the contract will end with me.
Even the gods of old struggle to achieve true immortality. First you want to save others, then you want to save yourself. Now you even want to save me. You're getting greedy, Baizhu.
But isn't wanting to have it all what makes us human? For a selfish moth like me, who's afraid of the flame yet yearns for the light, the only path forward is up towards the moon.
Huh. For once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
Dr. Baizhu, Traveler, what are you still chatting about? The food's about to get cold.
We also have coconut milk for Cheng Sheng and Paimon.
Okay, fine. Let's go grab some food. Paimon has a bunch of burning questions, but they can wait till after we've eaten.
Very food-motivated
I do
individual,
envy
that
Paimon sometimes. Eating her fill is enough to satisfy her body and mind.
True. And yet, although we call them simple pleasures, are such things as these not precisely why we mortals cling desperately to the life we have?
Kind of a deep quest. Yeah, there's, I guess, you know, a lot to take away with this quest. Let me make sure there's not any, like, final dialogue, because sometimes there is. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be around anymore, so I do think that's it. Yeah, so I definitely, you know, I had been picking up that, like, his goal was immortality, because he doesn't want to sacrifice, he doesn't want anybody else to have to sacrifice themselves, because he thinks that, you know, that process has been going on for too long. But also, he knows that ending it with him intentionally, without something like immortality, would then be forcing that sacrifice onto Cheng Sheng, who doesn't deserve it either. So, he wants to be able to continue to help others and allow Cheng Sheng's abilities to continue to do their work through him, so long as he is immortal, and then he is willing to continue to take on their ailments. Now, just because he's immortal doesn't mean that he won't continue to feel sick from other people's ailments, but he should, in theory, through Chang Sheng, be able to fight them off with time, so long as he's immortal. So this definitely, it establishes Baiju's long arcing journey. I definitely I continue not to see any death flags from this character, because his death means Chang Sheng's death, and I just don't feel like that's where they're gonna go with that. What I do feel like we could see another story quest for Baizhu, like this. I mean, plenty of the character stories imply some form of continuation, but his definitely leaves development on the table.
Navigating the world
Obviously, Diaz also left things open. Some characters' story quests, you know, seem to tie up that specific story arc with a nice little bow, and you're kind of like, okay, well, hopefully they'll do something else, but I don't know what that will be. Whereas these leave that development quite obvious, I think, you know, where this needs to go. So I do think that we're going to continue to see development from Baizhu. I think that we're going to continue to see, I think we're going to probably see either another story quest for it, or his involvement in the main quest at some point in the future will continue to lend into his growth individually.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the
Man, I
situation
cannot
has
wake up
changed
today,
again.
let me tell you. Yeah, I definitely, I found this to be a pretty deep story quest as well. I liked Hu Tao's involvement with it. I feel like it was definitely a necessary add-on to it as well, given, you know, just the nature of life and death in Leo and all of that stuff, as it ties into how Baizhu artificially extends life and how he has done that with Chi-Chi as well. So it makes sense that she would be tied up with it as well. Her role in the quest was kind of surprising, as something mildly antagonistic to Baiju's entire implementation, or, you know, and kind of how he carries himself and how he implements that whole prevention of death. Man, I can't stop yawning today. It's crazy. I'm going to be very interested to see how they're going to continue to run and develop Baiju's story throughout the rest of the game. I also, you know, there have been times, and really pretty much I would say every quest in the game so far has had a character that seemed to me the most likely to be, we'll say, a worthy successor to the Archon of a region. Whereas, you know, in Mondstadt, it seemed like it's always been Jean to Venti. In Liyue, it has kind of always seemed like, yeah, probably Ningguang to Zhongli. I don't know if I don't know if I would ever really think that it would be like, because, you know, you might think maybe it would be like Kujo Sara to the Shogun, but I don't really think so. Like, one never really stood out there, just like one never really stood out in Sumeru to me. You know, you might think, well, maybe Alhaitham, right? Because he's Dendro and he's a very intelligent individual, but, you know, intelligence is not the same thing as wisdom. But I feel like Baizhu might be that one that stands up a little bit more, is like that character who might be the wisest of the Dendro holders. Like, if there were a successor to the Dendro Archon, not that there needs to be one, because obviously Nahida is young for an Archon, and, you know, is quite naive and youthful in her entire demeanor as one who is wise but naive at the same time. Which was a really interesting role for them to make the Archon of Wisdom. So, but I feel like Baizhu is that one that to me stands out a little bit more as like the Dendro Archons were the successor kind of in this in the current day. So it'll be interesting. I still don't really know that we've ever seen one that really stands up, like I said, as like the Electro Archon's successor. Like, well, it would, so somebody, Slyboot says Kazuha for Inazuma. And, you know, perhaps if he could find a way to continue to keep his friend's vision active and then, you know, continue with like electro power, sure. But like in general, like we look to somebody who's that same elemental type, right? But like obviously, because I think that, you know, that vision infusion is what they need to make that journey. And White Koniko is saying Miko to A, but I don't think so either. Miko and A are quite different. And you know, Miko is obviously also a you know, a vision holder, but she's also a yokai. And so like I don't know whether or not that is a boon or a hindrance to that process. As I kind of understand it, it seems well, maybe not. Like I was thinking maybe all of the archons were previously human, but that may not be the case, because I'm not certain that Zhongli was ever human. He may have been Adeptus, which is not quite human, right? So I don't know where all of this falls in place. There's still things that we have yet to really properly learn in regard to that. So, oh, if I said Baizhu for Geo, I meant for Sumeru. But yeah, you knew what I meant. It's complicated. Dottore had told Nahida that she has no use for electronosis, which to me implies an archon needs to be of the same element in order to use Onid. I agree. Which is why I would tend to think not Kazuha. I think that the element that they resonate with is the one that they are enabled to then you know, become a god for. And you know, and this is because this goes way back to Venti's lines back at the end of, you know, the 1.0 story quest, where he said that becoming a vision holder makes one an allogene, or one who is a capable or worthy successor to becoming a god. And so this may even, you know, be... This may be like, you know, the inklings of what starts one's path to becoming an archon. And so, yeah, Kellogg said, Venti is a wisp that shifted to a human form, right? Yes, that's true. He's another god who is not strictly human. He took on a human form, but he is actually not originally human. So, and really, Zhongli also shares that. And I think that there's also an argument to be made that, you know, A is currently not a human anymore either. She gave up her human form, actually twice, if you go further back and look at, you know, like her own history. She sacrificed her form for her sister and then was brought back somehow by her sister later, and then sacrificed her form to remain in the plane of euthymia. So all of that gets really you know, complicated and convoluted the more you really start digging into it. So one could even maybe say that being human is not a prerequisite to it, just when you look at the other gods. And obviously we really don't know much about Ruka Tavada's past, just based on the fact that her history had to be erased from Irminsul to suppress the forbidden knowledge. And the Traveler is really the only one who knows anything. Now, I don't want to get too much into my next line of thinking, because this is going to get into a theory that I'm going to start working on probably next week, that I've been holding on to for a while. But again, this relates to Irminsul and how knowledge can be preserved. So food for thought on that. So says I really like Baizhu quest, not gonna lie, I did too. And again, these are these things that, you know, they're thought provoking, right? Like they get you to think more deeply about like the philosophical nature of like life and death and immortality and all of that. It was really interesting. But you know, Baizhu stands as a difference kind of character. Like he's not the typical character that you find looking for immortality. He's doing it for a noble reason. He's doing it for the purpose of protecting life, not really his own per se. He you know, obviously that is a side effect of becoming immortal, and he clings to that like any, you know, mortal would. But he's doing it because he wants to protect Xiangling. He wants to be able, or Chengsheng rather, and he wants to continue to protect those whom he would treat with her sacred arts. So he wants to be able to help others. He wants to be able to save others and protect life. And he wants to make sure that no one else has to take on the burdens that he has taken on. So that'll be really interesting to see how they're going to continue to build upon that. Kellogg also says, can't wait to learn about Fontaine's Archon. For real. She is probably the Archon I've been the most excited for, really, since the beginning of the game. Fontaine is a region in general, and that's because I've always been most interested in hydro as an element and hydro mechanics and gaming in general for my whole life, really. I've always been like a fan of like hydro mages and hydro magic in general. So yeah, Fontaine is the region I've long been most excited for. I really can't wait to get into it, and I'm really excited to see really next version, you know, just having Charlotte around as a character from Fontaine. You know, obviously we've already met lots of hydro NPCs, and Mona is probably from Fontaine, given like her history and all of that, even though I swear there was something that I read early on that said that she was, and then I no longer can find it, so it makes me feel like I made it up, and I'm not sure. I really don't think I did, though, and I want to say that that's generally most people's consensus about her too, but I cannot find the dialogue, and I feel like maybe it was on like MiHoYo's original what is it, promotional materials for Mona, and I've not been able to find them forever anymore. And maybe they deleted them or something, and I need to, you know, like comb back through like the Wayback Machine or something to see if I can find it. I don't know. But having Charlotte around will give us another nice little window into Fontaine before we actually get there, and that will be great as well. And that's something I'm definitely looking forward to. Anyways, what with the quest being over now, I need to get out of here for today. I'm expecting tomorrow's stream to run a bit longer than the 2.5 to 3 hour territory. I'm expecting that stream to probably be more like 4 or 5 hours, because I'm going to be getting into, I would like to complete at least you know, 2 if not 3 hangout quests. I really need to start knocking these out, because they're gathering up more and more. I'm gonna probably start with knocking out Hazos, and then maybe ask the chat afterwards which one I should get into, you know, based on maybe what everybody else has completed, and which ones they like the most, or maybe ones they haven't completed and they just want to see done, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so that's what the plan is for tomorrow, and then the day after that I have a lot of like world quests and map stuff to get into. I haven't even been to the new section of the map yet, so I need to get, you know, tackling that. But yeah, I need to get out of here for the day, so thanks for being here. Make sure to subscribe and like the video / stream on the way out if you haven't already, because it really does help pass my stream content on to the YouTube algorithm, and helps you know, boost numbers and all that good stuff. All things I need, because I got to get growth kind of spun back up again, because it's been a little while, and because I've been absent really for most of like the last year almost. It's been difficult for me to keep growth driving, and really it hasn't driven. It's been pretty much halted, so I need the support in order to get things going again. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, like, all that really helps out, and thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one.